ADM Boxing.
I'm sorry, what was it again?
ADM Boxing.
Thank you so much. Please do it.
Moses Fuentes in a 10-round super flyweight battle. For those of you who still like to attend this epic event live, there's still a limited number of tickets available. You must come out to Vegas to check out this fight. You can buy your tickets online at www.tmobilearena.com or www.access.com. We also have closed circuit tickets available. And come out. These fight fans can watch from the MGM Grand, the Mandalay Bay, the Mirage, and the Luxor. We'll also have a very exciting, we'll be hosting the first ever public workout at the home of LA's newest soccer club, LAFC, at the Bank of California Stadium in downtown Los Angeles. The event is set for this Sunday, August 26th. Doors open to the public at 2 p.m. Fighters will start working out at 3 p.m. Come to this event. It's open to the public, and it's going to be really, really spectacular. Media must RSVP by 5 p.m. Last but not least, I'd like to thank our sponsors. Ducati, the official beer of boxing, Hennessy, Never Stop, Never Settle, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, Fred Lawyer Insurance, Interjet, Denim, Fathom Events. Without the sponsors' continued support, big events like this couldn't happen. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Tom Loeffler, Gennady Golovkin's promoter. Tom?
Hey, Robert. It's great. That was a great introduction. I'm still at the Las Vegas airport after this. After the officials have been selected, as you mentioned, it's this is just a tremendous. Not only a tremendous main event, but a tremendous undercard. All these great warriors on the same show. Triple G's training very hard up in Big Bear, California with ABEL Sanchez. He doesn't want to leave it in the judges' hands this time. I know Canelo's predicting a knockout. Literally, the gloves are off for this promotion. So, without further ado, I just wanted to introduce who we think is the best trainer in boxing. He's the reason behind Triple G's Mexican style that's gained him so many fans around the world. I want to introduce ABEL Sanchez all the way from the Summit Gym in Big Bear, California.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you to everybody that's on. Appreciate the call. We are training hard, like Tom said. Look forward to this conference call and answering a lot of questions that are around. Thank you.
Thank you, Abel. Now I'd like to introduce the man behind the machine, Jose CHEPO REYNOSO. CHEPO?
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Buenos días. Aquí listos nosotros, cada día acercándonos más al punto óptimo que vamos a lograr para esa gran pelea y bueno, ya para declararnos listos para el día 15 de septiembre, poner las cosas en su lugar sin tanto hablar.
Good morning. How are you to everybody? We're ready. Every day we're getting closer to this big event, and to put everything in its place after all that's been talked about.
Thank you, Chepo. Thanks, Gabe. Now, I'd like to introduce to another important cornerman who has been with Canelo's team since the fighter was a teenager. I'd like to introduce to you Eddy Reynoso. Eddy?
¿Qué tal? Buenos días.
Good morning. How everyone's doing, and salutations.
Perfect. Thank you, Eddy. We're now opening it up for questions from the media. If your question is in English, please allow for us to translate into Spanish for Chepo and Eddy. If your question is in Spanish, please allow for us to translate into English for the call's participants. We also will be translating Chepo and Eddy's answers into English. Questions?
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. If you have a question, please press star, then the number 1 on your touchtone phone. If you are using a speakerphone, you may need to pick up your handset first before pressing any numbers. Once again, if you have a question, please press star, then 1 on your touchtone phone. Standing by for questions. Our first question comes from Bernard Fernandez from the Sweet Science. Bernard, your line is open.
Yeah, there seems to be a certain amount of personal hostility between the two camps with insults. A lot of it has to do with the two drug tests that Canelo failed. But it also seems to have filtered down to the trainers. If this anger is real, how does it translate to how the fight is fought? Sometimes I think it probably could be a good thing for a fighter. Sometimes maybe not. So I'd like to ask both participants whether this rancor between the two camps will actually have an effect on the fight.
So I will translate the question first, and then Abel can answer, and then we'll have Team Canelo answer. Basically, there seems to be a lot of personal hostility. Hay mucha hostilidad personal entre ambos entrenadores. Obviamente fue debido a la prueba positiva que dio Canelo Álvarez, pero también entre los entrenadores hay como una hostilidad. ¿Qué tan importante o significante es esta hostilidad entre los entrenadores? Y si tiene algún efecto en el plan de la pelea.
First of all, there has been no insults from our side. I have not insulted them in no way, shape, or form. What I said has been facts. I may have stated an opinion as far as me saying that he ran, but everything else is a fact. He tested positive. He is not the champion. Gennady Golovkin is the champion. Was the champion going in, and he was the champion coming out. So everything that I've said has been the truth. If I'm lying about what I said, then but I have not insulted anybody. They've been the ones with the insults.
La respuesta de Abel fue que no ha habido insultos de nuestra parte. Lo que he dicho son las realidades, son los hechos. Tal vez di mi opinión cuando dije que estuve corriendo, pero lo demás fue las realidades, que dio positivo y fue nomás eso. Eddie o Chepo, por favor. La misma pregunta, si hay hostilidad o si ha habido insultos entre los entrenadores.
No, para nada, no debe haber ningún insulto. Al final uno se pone a pelear. Estamos tranquilos, estamos trabajando y los argüendes y todo eso pues van a otro lado. Pues no hay nada.
No, there's been no insults on our side. At the end of the day, we're not the ones who are going to be fighting, so we're relaxed, we're working hard, and there's no negativity on our end, and if we receive anything, we take it somewhere else.
Yo creo que en el equipo del Canelo siempre hemos tenido el respeto por todos los rivales y por los equipos, y esta vez no ha sido la excepción, solamente que a veces sí ha calentado los ánimos con declaraciones y todo eso de que corrió el Saúl y todo. Yo quiero decir que un peleador no puede correr dentro de un ring, hace una pelea y corren las pistas, pero el ring, el cuadrilátero lo hacen exactamente para con ciertas medidas para que tú demuestres tu calidad, y esa noche Saúl, tienen que reconocer, demostró una excelente calidad, un excelente juego de cintura, defensa y todo eso, le mojó la pólvora a Gennady, y a lo mejor esa ha sido la causa de que Abel ahora quiere calentar más el ambiente, pero no, nosotros estamos tranquilos, sabemos lo que tenemos, sabemos lo que vamos a hacer, y seguramente el día 15 de septiembre pues no vamos a ocupar ni jueces ni nada para demostrar quién es quién.
Team Canelo has always been respectful and with all opponents and all teams. This time has not been an exception. It's been Abel who has heated things up with his statements regarding Canelo and that he runs. But a fighter can't run in the ring. You run on the racetrack. In the fight, you can't run. Maybe he moved a little bit, showed some movements, just to show his quality as a fighter. But I think that he moved really well. He moved necessary, and he may have put a little water in the gunpowder of Golovkin, and that's why he wants to heat things up, because he showed his quality as a fighter. So we're relaxed. We know what we have to do, and we haven't been doing any insults.
Our next question comes from Gordon Marino from HBO Inside Boxing. Gordon, your line is open.
Thanks very much. This is a question for Mr. Sanchez, and thanks for taking time to answer it. It seemed to me that Canelo is one of his most effective punches. His counter right hand and the uppercut. And I thought Gennady was backing straight up and not able to counter that very well. Do you think he could improve that in this fight? Improve the counter to the uppercut and right hand?
First of all, Canelo's got a lot more than the right hand and uppercut. He's an excellent fighter, but in the first fight, he was able to land those. And of course, we've reviewed the fight. We've gone over the fight. We hope that we could do a better job, but I'm sure Canelo's going to try to, and Canelo and CHEPO and EDDY are going to try to counter it also. But it's a good fight between two very good fighters. Hopefully, we get the fight that the fans expect. But yeah, of course, we worked on that.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
Our next question comes from Jeremy Herges from Fansided. Jeremy, your line is open.
This question goes out to both Abel and Jose. As far as the last fight goes, how much film study has been done by you of the last fight? How many times have you seen it? And also in planning for the fight, who's primarily responsible for the strategy? Is it the trainer, is it the fighter, or is it a mixture of both?
Primero la pregunta y después que conteste Abel Sánchez. La pregunta es, ¿cuánto has estudiado el estilo de Golovkin en videos? ¿Cuántas veces has visto la primera pelea? ¿Y quién es responsable para la estrategia de la pelea? ¿Será el peleador o el entrenador? ¿Quién se encarga del plan de pelea?
Well, first of all, we've watched it twice. Once on tape and once live. We can work as coaches, we can work on a strategy, we can work on a lot of things that we want to do in the fight. But when the fight presents itself, depending on how the opposition is fighting the fight, things can change. We try to have A, B, and C plans available. We work on everything in the gym just in case. But when the fight starts, the fighters, at least my fighters anyway, they're going to do what they feel is best at that particular moment. We've worked on all the aspects, and hopefully they can implement what we worked on.
La respuesta de Abel Sánchez es que hemos estudiado la pelea 2 veces, por video y en vivo el año pasado. Cuando estamos en una pelea, no nos basamos solamente en el plan de pelea, sino también en lo que el oponente trae al cuadrilátero. Y yo sé que mis peleadores, ellos tienen que ver qué es lo que está pasando en el ring y hacer un plan de pelea en base de eso, en base de lo que el oponente está haciendo.
Our next question comes from Keith Ideg from BoxingScene.com. Keith, your line is open.
My question is for Abel. Abel, I was just wondering if you're aware of the blog post that Canelo put up on HBO.com this morning.
La pregunta es para Abel si está al tanto de lo que Canelo ha dicho en un post de Canelo.
Actually, I'm not. Tell me about it.
Now, this is Canelo saying this, obviously, Abel, so please don't take offense. He said that you don't know boxing, that you don't know boxing, and the word dumbass was in the blog post. So he was very critical. He was critical of you saying that Canelo, that he ran in the first, that he did a lot of running in the first fight. Can you respond to that?
Sí, básicamente el periodista está diciendo que, hablando sobre las declaraciones y básicamente lo que dijo Canelo es que Abel Sánchez, en sus palabras, es un pendejo que no sabe del boxeo, no sabe el boxeo, y ahorita le está preguntando a Abel que conteste.
Well, Keith, I go back to what I said on the previous answer. If the insults have not come from my side, the insults have come from him, and it's an obvious insult to me. They're the ones that are lowering themselves to do it that way. Have I gotten into his head to be able to respond to me like that? There's no reason for it, but that's the character that I've been talking about, the man.
Los insultos no han venido de nuestra parte. Ellos se están bajando a ese nivel. No hay razón para estar dando insultos.
Abel, do
you feel that you've gotten into him at this point, the way he's responding?
Well, I feel that he's responding. Just by responding means that he's reading these things and it's affecting him. My reason for saying the things that I said is because they're facts. Like I said at the beginning of another question, tell me where I'm lying. Other than my opinion about his running, tell me where I'm lying. He did not test positive. He did not cancel our fight. He did not cause an uproar with fans and with tickets and with reservations, because those are consequences on what he did, not what we did. So there's no reason for me to be insulting anybody. They're the ones that are lowering themselves to that level.
Is he going to, Gabe, you're going to translate that?
Ya que son básicamente ellos que están bajándose a ese nivel, están tirando insultos. No ha salido de nuestra parte, de ABEL Sánchez o de Team Golovkin. Son ellos que están tirando los insultos.
I just have one more question for you, Abel. Earlier, the commission meeting was, took place, and obviously Tom voiced his objection to Tony Weeks being the referee for the fight, and he explained part of that was, some of the things that you were concerned about Tony Weeks being the referee. Can you explain why you thought he might not be the referee for the fight?
Sí, obviamente Tom Laffer estuvo con la comisión. Tom Laffer estuvo con la comisión en la mañana y no estaba de acuerdo de que Tony Weeks sea el referee de la pelea, y le está preguntando a Abel si está de acuerdo con Tony Weeks.
Well, first of all, we had been told it was going to be Kenny Bayless, and we had agreed to Kenny Bayless doing it again. When the name Tony Weeks came up, I had several other fighters with him, and I felt he didn't do a proper job. I felt that in one of the fights in the dressing room, while he's giving the instructions, I felt that how he addressed the question of mine was very irresponsible and insulting. So I thought I had a problem with that, and there's a lot of other great referees in this world, and I felt that he wasn't qualified, in my opinion, to do this kind of fight.
Anteriormente les habían dicho que iba a ser Kenny Bayless, no Tony Weeks, y pensamos que no hizo buen trabajo. No estábamos de acuerdo de eso, pero que no hizo un buen plan en su última trabajo como referee.
Abel, which fight was it that you took issue with what he said to you?
It was a fight at Shepard versus a young man named Shepard fight at the Cosmo Hardware last year.
It was Shepard versus Alvarado last December.
Right.
Okay, great. Thanks for your time, Abel.
Once again, if you'd like to ask a question, please press star then 1 on your touch-tone phone. Our next question comes from T.C. Martin from Fox Sports Las Vegas. T.C., your line is open.
Thank you. This goes to both camps. Maybe start with you, Abel. What was the biggest takeaway from the first fight for each of you guys regarding your opponent, and whether it was something surprising or expected in that first fight?
La pregunta para ambos entrenadores, ¿qué es lo que sacaste de la primera pelea? ¿Qué es lo que aprendiste? ¿Y qué es lo que te sorprendió de la primera pelea contra Golovkin?
Oh, first of all, I was surprised that he moved as much as he did. He fought 40-some fights in one manner and promised the fans some kind of fight. I think the fans expected. I think that's why the fans paid for the fight. We knew that he was an excellent fighter. Other than the movie, nothing surprises. I knew that he was going to be there. I knew that, of course, before the fight, I'm talking about knocking him out. That's just talk to not only come up the fight, but hopefully to get the kind of fight that we deserve.
Nada me sorprendió de la última pelea con Canelo. Sabíamos que era un buen peleador. Lo que sí me sorprendió es que se movió mucho después de 40 peleas. No esperaba eso, pero nada me sorprendió de la pelea. Y la misma pregunta para Eddie y Chepo, ¿qué es lo que te sorprendió de la pelea y qué es lo que aprendiste de esa primera pelea con Golovkin?
No, pues no me sorprendió nada, el peleador de siempre, que solo va para adelante tirando golpes. Pues lo que aprendimos de la pelea se va a ver el 15 de septiembre, lo que aprendimos de esa pelea.
No, well, we didn't really learn anything from the first fight. Nothing surprised us from that first fight. He's the same fighter as always. He comes forward and he throws a lot of punches. What we did learn, well, that's what we'll show in that fight, in the rematch this September.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Bueno, la verdad, de Golovkin no es nada para sorprender. Es el peleador que conocimos en el 2011 allá en Big Bear. Un muchacho muy voluntarioso, fuerte, bien preparado, pero que la verdad no tiene ninguna novedad. Y si él sorprendió que Saúl se movía mucho, bueno, pues es un peleador completo y el próximo 15 de septiembre van a ver todavía más.
Nothing, this is from CHEPO, the first one was from Eddie. Nothing really surprised us from Golovkin in the first fight. We met him in 2011 in Big Bear, and he's a strong, well-prepared fighter that we've known for a long time, so there was nothing new. And if Abel feels that he was surprised that Canelo moved a lot, well, that's because he's a complete fighter. And we're going to show that on September 15th.
Our next question comes from Daniel Olia from Zona Deportiva. Daniel, your line is open.
Sí, buenas tardes. Mi primer pregunta sería para Abel Sánchez. Abel, en dado caso de que Gennady perdiese la pelea y después de todos los resultados salieran negativos, que Canelo no usó ninguna sustancia prohibida en esta pelea, ¿aceptarías tú dar una disculpa tanto a Canelo como al equipo para esta pelea?
The question was for Abel Sanchez, you know, after everything that's happened, after all the tests that show that, you know, Canelo didn't do anything bad or negative in this fight, would you accept an apology from either Canelo or his team?
I think he's asking me if I would apologize to him. And my answer to that is no, I would not apologize. He tested positive. What would I apologize for somebody that tested positive? That he's not tested positive since then. I have not said anything about it since then. It's the consequences that have resulted for us and for the team and for boxing from his carelessness. So, no, I wouldn't apologize.
Sí, no, no le voy a pedir disculpas, son ellos que tienen que pedir disculpas, porque ellos fueron los que dieron positivo en sus exámenes. Ellos son los que tienen que pedir disculpas.
Y mi segunda y última pregunta es para el equipo de los Reynoso. Para ustedes como equipo, ¿qué más importante demostrar? ¿Que Canelo es un peleador limpio o que simplemente es mejor que Gennady Golovkin?
The question for Eddie and CHEPO Reynoso, how important is it to show that not only is, you know, Canelo a complete fighter, but that he's a clean fighter? Eddie y CHEPO, por favor.
No, yo creo que no hay nada que demostrar. No hay nada que demostrar. La carrera de Saúl siempre ha sido limpia, así lo demostró en la investigación que le hicieron en Nevada. Entonces no tenemos nada que demostrar. Lo que tenemos que demostrar es ganar pelea tras pelea, ganar a Golovkin y ganar a los Encina.
There's nothing to show. Canelo's career has always been clean, and it showed that in the investigation. So there's nothing to show. All we have to show is each fight, taking it one by one, starting with Golovkin. So there's nothing to show.
Our next question comes from Stephen Mullenhausen from SportingNews.com. Stephen, your line is open.
Thank you. Is Tom still on the line? Tom Hoffman? No, Tom had to, his plane just took off. Oh, okay. Then this question, then I'll have a question to Abel. Abel, just considering, and I asked Canelo this last week, and I want to ask you the same thing. He said that he will not, you know, after the fight, he will not shake Gennady Golovkin's hand. He will not accept any apologies for the comments that you and Gennady have made in the lead up to this fight. After the fight, will you go up to Canelo's camp and will you shake his hand regardless of win, lose, and draw and say a good fight and wish them congratulations and things like that?
Well, I will make an effort. That's what adults do. Children act like he's acting now. So, of course, I will make an effort to try to do it. If he doesn't want it, that's okay. That's the child in him.
And I'll follow up on that real quickly. And, you know, there is a lot, you know, I can feel the hostility in your voice. You know, you can see it when anytime you hear Gennady talk. Is this the most vitriol that has come from you and from Gennady and any of Gennady's past opponents?
I would say if there is a reason, the reason would be because they're trying to sweep it under the rug like nothing happened. Look, we're not idiots. The fans are not idiots. Something happened. Yes, he was cleared by the Nevada Commission, but something did happen. That there's consequences from that. We're still feeling the consequences from that. So that there's a little that we're mad about it. Of course, we're mad about it. We have to go on and we have to fight the 15th. But the fact of the matter is, those things did happen. We cannot sweep it under the rug. He did test positive, regardless for whatever reason he seems to claim. But the fact is, he did.
How do you let emotion evil not get in the way of what needs to be done on September 15th?
Emotions will never get in the way. Emotions get in the way when questions are asked. Once they step to the ropes, once we're in the dressing room, all those things are not going to be asked. All those things are in the back burner. We are concentrating on what's in the task at hand. Ganetti's a professional, as Canelo is, and I'm sure that when they step to the ropes, it'll be about that fight. Those other thoughts and those other questions will not be on the mind. As will they will not be on mine either. I got a job to do that night, and I'm going to do it regardless of what happened in the past. But when those questions are asked, it's difficult to act like it never happened.
Thank you guys, and the best of luck September 15th.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Salvador Rodriguez from ESPN Deportes. Salvador, your line is open.
Saludos a todos por allá, saludos a ABEL, a EDDY, a CHEPO, a todos en la línea. Primero me gustaría preguntarles si este 15 de septiembre vamos a ver lo mejor de Gennady Golovkin y de Canelo Álvarez. Me refiero a ya estar en un punto en donde es difícil mostrar muchas cosas mejores. Vamos a ver el punto máximo en la carrera de Golovkin y de Saúl Álvarez esta semana, y después tengo otra pregunta.
The question from Chava, his first question is for both trainers. The question is, on September 15th, will we see the very best of Triple G and Canelo? Obviously, at this point in their careers, it's difficult to show new things and to show, new parts of their plans and who they are as fighters. But will we see the very best of Triple G and Canelo September 15th? First, you, Abel, please.
I think that great fighters bring out the best in other great fighters. I think that the fans are expecting a great fight, as they expected the first time. Golovkin will do his best to make that. Hopefully Canelo comes prepared to do the same thing.
Los mejores peleadores siempre sacan lo mejor de sus oponentes, y espero que Canelo haga lo mismo en su pelea con Golovkin. La misma pregunta para Don Chepo y Edddy, por favor.
Mira, yo creo que lo mejor de Saúl está por venir. Hay que recordar que es su segunda pelea en la categoría de los medianos, y está su cuerpo en un proceso de acondicionamiento ya a esta nueva categoría. Entonces yo creo que todavía lo mejor está por venir, pero ese día 15 de septiembre va a ser una fecha muy importante, porque va a demostrar que va a acabar con el mito y con el invicto de un peleador, a mi juicio, ordinario como es Golovkin.
The best of Canelo is yet to come. Obviously, this is his second fight at 160 pounds, His body is still processing. He's still getting conditioned at his new weight. So I maintain that the best is yet to come. On September 15, you will see a better Canelo, and you will see him end with the myth and with the undisputed streak of that very basic fighter, Gennady Golovkin.
Y segundo, como mexicanos, hace tiempo que se viene diciendo que no hay buenos entrenadores en México, y hoy vemos lo contrario con todos ustedes, estando en la esquina o siendo entrenadores de la pelea quizá más importante del año. Como mexicanos, ¿cómo los hace sentirse eso de estar representando de alguna forma al boxeo de México?
The question is for both. Some people may say that there aren't any good fighters that are coming from Mexico, but in this very big fight, we have an important Mexican fighter on the card. And how does it feel to be representing Mexico in this card, both as cornerman and in the ring?
Well, first of all, I think that there's a lot of good coaches in Mexico, other than these two that are going to be, these three that are going to be in the ring on September the 15th. They just haven't had the opportunity. But to get the opportunity to coach the fighters that are coming out because of the important. The fact that we are two Mexicans leading the charges in one of the most important fights in the last couple of years, I think I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud to be Mexican and to be representing Mexico, representing my fighter in this particular fight.
Tenemos a dos mexicanos en el ring y uno de los mejores, un mexicano en el ring y los esquinas de mexicanos y peleadores que son de los mejores en los últimos años. Y yo creo que hay muchos entrenadores que son buenos que salen de México, más de los que van a ingresar al cuadrilátero, pero no han tenido la oportunidad de estar en grandes peleas. Pero para mí es un gran orgullo tener una esquina llena de mexicanos.
No, pues Chepo, es un orgullo estar envuelto en una pelea importante uno como mexicano y más que nada que desde abajo hemos estado trabajando con Saúl y pues eso nada más denota que el boxeo mexicano pues siempre va a dar de qué hablar a los niveles grandes.
It's a pride for me. It's going to be a big night for we Mexicans. And that's why we've been working hard with Canelo. And it's going to show that with Mexican boxing, there's always going to be something to talk about. It's always special.
Sí, la verdad es que es un honor de veras que gentes como nosotros que venimos desde abajo con un muchachito que llegó al gimnasio desde 13, 14 años, pues estar ahora en la meca del boxeo mundial como es Las Vegas, en una pelea tan importante, yo creo que es una pelea que va a ser historia. Entonces, pues da satisfacción, da gusto, pero sobre todo hacerle saber a la gente que es el resultado del trabajo, del esfuerzo y de la disciplina.
It's an honor for people like us to be part of an important fight like this. Coming from the bottom, training a kid who came into the ring not knowing boxing at only 13 years old, and now he's fighting at the mecca of boxing in Las Vegas. So it's an honor, and we feel very proud, and it's satisfying to be involved in such an important fight. And we're going to show the results of all this hard work on September 15th.
Once again, if you'd like to ask a question, please press star then 1 on your touch-tone phone. And our next question comes from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Dan, your line is open.
Thank you very much. So my first question is for Abel. Hey, Abel. Abel, if Triple G wins this fight, he will have recorded 21 middleweight title defenses, would break the record held by Bernard Hopkins. You've been his coach for those fights. I'm wondering just your perspective on the historical achievement he could accomplish in this fight.
Both G and I, Gennady and I have a tremendous amount of respect for Bernard and for what he's accomplished and what he continues to accomplish in the sport. It would be an honor to be mentioned, for my fighter to be mentioned in the same breath with Bernard Hopkins. I think it's important to set goals and to set tables that we want to reach, and to reach this one I thought would never be possible. I thought that it would never be possible for any fighter, and for me to be involved in that, or that possibility is mind-boggling.
One thing about that potential record, there are some who look at it and say, even though Triple G's been a tremendous fighter for so many years, the reality is a handful of those defenses he made at the beginning were actually of the second-tier WBA belt before he got the full title. What's your point of view on those who say, well, even if he wins, it's not really the record because there was another WBA champion at the same time for the first, 4 or 5 of those defenses, or whatever the number was?
You know what? Everybody has an opinion. The one thing that I can say about Golovkin's career, he's never had a rematch with anybody. On that record that you're talking about, Bernard, he had rematches with Antoine Echols and Robert Allen. So you can look at it in a way that those kind of counter each other, but he never fought a rematch, and not only did Golovkin break the record, or is going to break the record, he did it in a fashion that Bernard didn't. He did it with most knockouts. So I'm content. I'm content with the fact that he's going to break.
And Bernard also happens to have a no contest in there. I'd like Gabe, if you could translate for Eddie and CHEPO. Just did you ask? Well, either one of them or both of them can answer. if they have any additional, would they take additional satisfaction in a Canelo victory, knowing that they had stopped Triple G from breaking, a big record like that?
Sí, agarrarías mucha satisfacción al no nomás vencer a Golovkin por nocaut, sino romper el récord de Golovkin o prevenir que Golovkin rompa el récord de Bernard Hopkins de 21 defensas consecutivas.
Nosotros estamos trabajando para ganar esa pelea, no estamos pensando en romper récord, estamos pensando y trabajando para quitar el invicto a Golovkin. Y bueno, pues ya lo que viene después es el resultado de esa gran victoria, pero nuestro pensamiento está en el triunfo ese 15 de septiembre y quitarle y que baje Golovkin sin cinturones y sin invicto.
We are working to win this fight. We're not worried about breaking records or preventing people from breaking records. What we do want to do is make sure that we take away his undefeated record.